Hi, my name is Adrian Reed and I'm here at the BA Conference Europe, and I've managed to grab some of Liz Calder's time. And I'm really pleased because Liz is going to talk to us about the thorny topic of ethics. So Liz, I really enjoyed your session earlier today where you were talking about the difference between traditional ethics, modern ethics, and what it means for us as business analysts. So if you were to explain modern ethics in a nutshell to someone who had never come across the topic before, how would you describe that?
Modern ethics is something that's forming in a response to the way the IT industry is changing at the moment. If we start with traditional ethics, it's a way of behaving in society and culture that's built up over generations and over centuries. And it's a way of behaving and our values and morals that we've agreed as a society. As things change in the IT world at this incredible rate, we are coming up with problems and issues that we've never even had to think about before. And there's actually very little in the way of moral guidance to guide us about what is right and what's wrong. And it's so easy to get really excited about the great things you can do with IT, that what really matters, that I really think we really need to start thinking about is not can we do things, but should we do them? Are they right or wrong? And with no societal guidance to actually tell us, we actually have to start thinking about this as business analysts ourselves, and discuss this with our teams and maybe engage with the wider society about it.
So to think about the societal outcomes as well as the shiny new tech.
Exactly, because we're always focused on the benefits for the people who use our new ideas. But what we're seeing more and more is that there are areas where maybe some people are disadvantaged. You can have a great tool that provides benefits to certain people, but if they are then divided into haves and have-nots, and some people can't use it, then that actually starts to have a negative effect on wider society, where disadvantaged people become more disadvantaged because they can't access new tech.
And I know an example that you gave. I mean, you gave many examples. I mean, it's a fabulous conversation. I was going to call it a conversation as much as a talk, because you had polls and these sorts of things. But one thing that really struck me was you were talking about, say, AI, and how AI can streamline things, but it could also actually become biased, and it could almost amplify human biases, but then there's no recompense. It's almost like the decision's made.
Exactly, and if you think of that in somewhere like places it is used in things like CV checking, so people submit their CVs online and they're checked by a bot or an AI as to which person is suitable for a job, and then the recruiter gets a list of names to interview. And unless you are absolutely certain that the judgment that's being made on that is unbiased, then people might be getting removed from interview pools with no understanding of why, no observation of who's being removed because there's no personal interaction, and no comeback.
And it's interesting because I read an article on LinkedIn which someone had written about how to get through automatic CV checking. So almost like people start to game the game, because you get some sort of game theory playing on there as well. So that's really interesting. So thinking about what we do as BAs, and this is a really unfair question, but I'm going to ask it. If there was one thing, like one takeaway from your research, from your reflecting on putting the session together, that you think, as BAs, this is one thing, this is one question, one thought we should have, what would that one thing be?
It would be, if you know you're working in an area where you're new and novel and always looking to disrupt, think wider than just what you are trying to achieve. Because one of the big things that actually comes back to bite companies and loses them their reputation is unintended consequences. Things that we never intended to happen, but we just never thought about enough to prevent. And I think as we all start to live more and more of our lives online, we need to be thinking much more widely about the possible effects on people, so that we live in a fair society and people can interact justly, but also the organisations we work with don't have reputational issues in the future for things that could have been avoided with a bit more thought.
Absolutely, and making sure those marginalised voices continue to be heard, and sometimes we perhaps as BAs act as the champion for that sort of perspective. So
yes,
fantastic.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Great presentation, and thanks for your time, Liz.
Thanks, Adrian.